Saturday come in here to learn how to purchase a home, how to learn how not to lose a home once you purchase a home, I think is really so much excitement in here today, and just appreciate all of you coming out. I am Kerry Yates, our Senior Vice President, Market Growth and Development Manager for Wells Fargo Bank. And as Eric said, I'm the board chair for the Houston Area Urban League and also an economic corporate advisor for the NAACP. So Wells Fargo, the NAACP and the Urban League have invited you here this morning so that you can ask all the questions that you need to ask about home ownership. June is actually, I believe, Viola, is home ownership month. And so you purchase 3 homes, or whether you just want to ask questions, today is the day that you have everyone here. If I can tell you a secret, Viola, I don't know if I ever mentioned this to you, but when I first moved here many years ago, from the inner city of Pittsburgh. And I bought my first home here. I was very young. I was a vice president of a bank. I didn't have a bit more business buying a home at that particular time than the man in the moon. You know why? Because I had not been told about escrow, Andre. I had not been told that when that refrigerator breaks, the housing authority doesn't just move another one in. That you got to keep a little bit of money in your savings because things do happen. While, thank God, I did not lose the home, it was so hard trying to keep something that's supposed to be so wonderful and so nice. So I want all of you to know that there are no questions that you should not and cannot ask today. You got to start somewhere. So what we try to do at Wells Fargo is we try to give you information, give you advice. I cannot do what I do without this angel to the left of me. She's responsible for Wells Fargo actually putting this on and all the mechanics and things that have to go along with it. So if you would please give Viola Solomon a round of applause because that's what she's done.
Let me just tell you, just to have this table right here, these folks represent some stuff in this city right here. That sit to my left, Andrea, Dr. Robert Judson, Mr. Mack, and Spiro Patrice. If you only knew the folks that were in this room, and so I feel glad that I'm happy that I even was able to invite them, and they said yes. It's wonderful. I have the city, Darlene and Deborah from Harris County and her assistant, and all of the Wells Fargo team members. I just want you to know I'm excited today. I have Mr. Harris and Olga Garza. Let me tell you, if you knew the stuff that woman has done for home ownership in this city, you would be applauding her right now. She is phenomenal. She is my mentor, and when Olga calls me, I have to show up, right? And so, of course, let me just say this. I have some new best friends over here, Eric and Ruben. I let them down because I didn't send a presentation. I'm sorry I didn't get that presentation to you, but I'm gonna get it up. These guys have so much intellectual property between the two of them. I'm telling somebody like me, I'm just down home and I forget stuff, right? But they are so wonderful, and I just want the executive leadership of these organizations to know you have some star power in these leaders here. So thank you. Let's give it.
We're getting to the end of the speakers list. Okay. Good morning, everyone. It is indeed a pleasure to be here and to be a partner in today's process of progress. I look around the room and I do see some outstanding leadership here in the room that's really helped to make our city a better place. And we have a lot to be thankful for. We have some historic organizations that are with us. We have some individuals who have made a lifetime commitment to bring home ownership as a reality and a dream come true to many Houstonians. We have a very rich history in this city of working together as organizations. And I want to encourage you to continue to work with organizations like the NAACP, the Urban League, NAREB, and the host of other partners that we have here in the room. But especially to Wells Fargo. They have a relationship with the Urban League that goes back a long way. They have a commitment where they help our organizations by placing members of their teams on our boards to help our organizations do the heavy lift that we do on a daily basis. So it's important that we pay back. Those who are supporting us, we want to in turn support them. So as you're visiting with your friends and neighbors and you're having discussions about who you work with and why you work with them, understand who's in the room today, who's here to provide the information so that you're better informed, so that you're making better decisions about your go-forward plan. So I'd like to thank them. I'd like to thank them for their partnership. I'd like to thank you for being here this morning. God bless you.
Again, we are going to make this brief. Let's continue to say that, but we do have a lot of information that we want to share with you because we want to ensure that once you leave today that you are really prepared to go out and make that purchase. But one thing that I want to make note of, and that is this, that the Houston area National Association for Colored People, NAACP, has partnered with the Houston Area Urban League as well as the local branch of the Wells Fargo. But those opportunities are available in large part because our national organizations are partnered together, and our national organizations, associations partner as well with Wells Fargo on a national basis. So with that thought in mind, I'd like to bring up and have our national director from the Houston branch of the National NAACP to speak with you and share with you some of our thoughts with regards to what we're doing on the national basis. So Lowry, would you come up?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name again is Charles Lowry. I'm the Director of Fair Lending and Inclusion for the NAACP Economic Department out of Washington, D.C. As Ruben mentioned, we have a national partnership with Wells Fargo. They are one of our main funders and supporters of the Financial Freedom Center we have in Washington, D.C. Through that center, we seek to get information about home ownership, about fair lending, about community economic development out to our members across the country, our branches across the country, and to the community and the political community within Washington, D.C., to let them know, too, that the NAACP is looking and concerned about these issues. I want to especially thank Ruben for inviting us to be with you today. And one of the things that's important about this, last weekend I was in Las Vegas, where they had a smaller event, but not as big and as this one, but successful nonetheless. So this program that we're working with Wells Fargo on, and including the National Urban League, is presenting 5 programs over the month of June in 5 different cities: Minneapolis, St. Paul, Las Vegas, Houston, Washington, D.C., and in Florida. And many of those programs are finishing out the month and taking place today. This seems like it's on its way to being a very successful event. We're happy to be here. And just let me leave you with one thought. And the Pew Institute did a recent study on the racial wealth gap. And it found that the average African-American homeowner has 1/20th, I repeat, 1/20th the wealth of the white family or white household. So that's $5,000 as compared to $100,000. That in and of itself, the growing disparity, the growing income inequality that we're facing in our country, and especially in the communities of color. We're here to help you all realize the dream of home ownership, the stability that home ownership brings, the building of wealth that home ownership brings, and again, we're happy to be here. Thank you all very much.
So without further ado, we will segue directly into our panel discussion. As everyone has intimated, we've got significant resources in the room. And so I'd like to invite all of our panelists up and then also really encourage you to let's move in. You know, for those of you that are at some of the tables on the perimeter, let's take advantage of the intimacy that we have so that everyone can really field the questions directly from the panelists. And again, as was stated, there is no bad, unnecessary, stupid question. Get your questions answered today. So without further ado, if our panelists would come up, Mr. Gerald Womack, Ms. Cooksey, representatives from the city and county.
Hi, good morning, future homeowners. Good morning. wake up now. Future homeowners is the way you'll be addressed the rest of the day. I'm Andrea Cooksey. I wear many hats, but today I am here as chairman of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. NAREB is the organization that was formed in 1947. We were one of the first organizations out of the Negro Business League to work with pushing for fair housing. I am broker owner of Quality, now Exit Realty 360, and just as a tagline, if you have a Land Rover and a landlord, you in violation. So my comments today will be addressing the fact that if you can buy, and you just need to, stop and get started. So that's what I'd like to say.
I'm Gerald Womack. I'm president of the Houston Black Real Estate Association, and it is a pleasure for me to be here today. I came out of a generation that I bought the first house, the first car for 9 other siblings who was in my family. I come here today to say that I own Womack Development Real Estate Firm, who markets all over the Houston community, both residential and commercial real estate. I sit here today saying that my wealth was brought on that first house that I bought that cost $29,000. And later, I sold it for $75,000. And my wealth at that time was at 18 years old, and it built on and on and on. So I'm saying to those of you who thought about buying a house and building your wealth, this is the avenue, in particular for African Americans and any Americans. But building wealth has been all about putting it in real estate, buying that first home. I never had the down payment in buying that house, but I was able to save up the dollars that I did make to keep buying. So the opportunity is there, and I'm very pleased to be here this morning. I don't think about today as the numbers of people that is here. It's about how many other people that those of you out there can go and touch and tell them about the opportunity of homeownership. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Spiro Patrices. I'm an area sales manager for Wells Fargo Home Mortgage. And we have the opportunity to support about 221 bank branches with their mortgage needs, all the customers that walk in. On a daily basis, we have about 110 to 120 local loan officers that they inspire consumers for the dream of home ownership. And I'm not going to bore you with what we do on a daily basis, but I want to go back about 15 years ago. I got into this country with $400 in my pocket. And soon, after a year I would say, I met the lady of my life, got married, and now we're looking to buy a home. I was like, there's no way that we can afford a home. We didn't know any better. We didn't know where to start, where to finish. Meantime, I was paying $900 in rent. When we were done, I ended up paying $800 in a mortgage payment. I had no idea that I could qualify. And today, after 15 years, I'm on my 5th house. So what I want to tell you, and the message that I want to send to all of you today is that even if you can't do it today, you can definitely do it tomorrow. If you don't know how it's done, ask all the questions. We're here to educate you, inspire you, and lead you down the path of the dream of homeownership. This is the one single biggest purchase transaction that you can make in your entire life, and as you heard, this is the foundation of building wealth. Remember that. And again, we're here to support you. Any questions, we're here to answer. If we can not answer them today, we'll definitely bounce back to you, but keep that in mind. Thank you.